And now, with a look at politics from Downing Street to your street, The Politics Show with John Sopel and Etalee George.
Thanks, John. Welcome to the part of the programme just for us here in the East. I'm Etalee George. Later, we'll hear how maternity services in this region are coping with the baby boom. But first, a concern over the funding of our hospices. We've surveyed all 25 hospices in the region and found that a significant number of them are worried about their future. This week, we want an answer to the question, who should foot the bill for our hospice movement? Should it be the state? Or should they stay in the voluntary sector and fend largely for themselves? Why not text us now during the programme? Start your message with politics1, that's all one word. Send it to 63399. Well, here at the Politics Show, we've discovered that hospices are suffering because corporate donations are down, income from legacies has fallen because house prices have dropped, and like the rest of us, their investments have been hit in the recession. Mike Liggins has been to Bury St Edmunds, where the St Nicholas Hospice is facing the largest shortfall in the region.
Well done. We'll be there for you and your family if you're facing death.
It's peace on earth, if I can describe it in any other way.
It's a real privilege and a real honour to be alongside families at the end of someone's life. Hello, Edwin.
Okay, thanks.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
I've just got your lunchtime medication. I'll just check you.
Allergen?
Yep, that's it.
This is St Nicholas Hospice in Bury St Edmunds. It has 12 beds for patients who need respite care and for people at the end of their life.
All right, well, I'll pop back and see you a bit later.
Fine.
Okay.
But St Nicholas also offers a wide range of services.
Just take care as you turn round.
It does receive some NHS funding, but has to raise £3.7 million a year from the community.
We're just going to do a little bit of work on your balance at the moment. I'd like you to touch my hand with yours. Well done. And the other side.
Yvonne James has cancer, which has caused problems with her spine and made walking difficult. She comes to St Nicholas for physiotherapy.
Well done.
People are so understanding, and if you've got any problems, any worries about it, there's always somebody to talk to.
Lovely. Well done.
And people often say, I know how you must feel. Well, they don't. They don't, but the people here do.
I'd like you, with this hand on your lap, to roll the ball to the side.
We noticed before Christmas that income was down 20 to 30%. And Christmas is usually our best time. People remember the hospice. We looked at next year's budget and we're facing a £500,000 deficit. And we really need to raise public awareness that we're a charity.
Oh, hello, Dr. James. It's Catherine from St Nicholas Hospice Care. I'm Catherine Wheeler. I've been in hospice nursing for just over 2 years. I think they're a place that's actually a wonderful privilege to work as a nurse, and you're exposed to some really fantastic and often quite beautiful experiences in things that you wouldn't really expect. It's definitely a bit like a big family. I mean, I know that sounds predictable, but I mean, it really is quite a special place to be working. Hospices traditionally have always been community-based establishments, and they've always relied on the community to keep them running. And I think really it kind of the buck stops with the government and the local NHS trusts to really invest in end-of-life care and just recognise the value of it really for people.
Wow. Have we got enough stuff?
We have.
Where's it all come from?
Donations.
Yeah.
Everything you see in this property is donated. This is a nerve centre that completely stocks all the shops.
St Nicholas has more than 500 volunteer staff and 119 paid staff. There may have to be job cuts, but the hospice is adamant that patients won't suffer.
I want to reassure people who might be watching this that we are doing absolutely everything to make sure that services don't stop.
I can't believe that they sort of have to try and survive on charity, and what the hell are they going to do now with all the credit crunch and what have you, I don't know.
You must be Alan.
Yeah.
Hello, Mike Liggins.
Do come in.
Thank you very much.
This way.
Alan Mitchell has cancer and is nearing the end of his life. He's been helped by St Nicholas for 3 years.
I wish I had it. That's why I do the lottery. Not that it does a lot of good, but you just hope.
So if you win the lottery, the hospice will get a few
a
quid.
lot of it. They would get an awful lot of it, believe you me.
Like all the St Nicholas patients, Alan Mitchell is incredibly grateful for what they do. And he's hoping the hospice can find its way out of the current crisis.
Well, joining us from Cambridge is Andrew Lansley, who is the Conservative MP for South Cambridgeshire and the Shadow Secretary of State for Health. Here with me in the studio, Lib Dem spokesman on health and North Norfolk MP Norman Lamb. Norman Lamb, just to start with you, at the moment I understand a quarter to a third of the funding that the hospices get is from the government. What do you believe is the right balance of state funding versus charitable donation?
Well, first of all, I think there's an incredibly important role for the voluntary and charitable sector here. I mean, you just heard the quality of the organisations that you were filming there. This is really high quality care with staff and volunteers who are totally committed to what they're doing. But the model has to be sustainable. They need to have sufficient support from the state, particularly at times like this when the whole of public finances are under enormous strain. I think the thing is, in the next financial year, we're going to be spending £102 billion in the NHS. That's an awful lot of money. And I think the challenge is to make sure the money is spent as efficiently as possible. There is a lot of waste. We need to cut out that waste and direct the money to real priorities like this. Dignity at the end of your life is incredibly important, and we've got to make sure that the sort of cutback in funding doesn't result in a reduction in care.
So are you saying that the hospices deserve more state money?
In these current financial circumstances, if they are seeing substantial reductions in their voluntary contributions, then the state may have to step in to increase the contribution. And that means spending the money within the NHS more efficiently to free up funds for this sort of priority.
Andrew Lansley, where does your party stand on this? What do you believe the balance should be?
Yeah, good afternoon, Natalie. And I agree with Norman that the hospice movement do a terrific job. And it's very important for us to recognise how it fits into the end-of-life care that people need. I remember I was at a hospice a while back and meeting a man in his 40s who was dying of cancer, who wanted to have, in effect, a home from home created at the hospice where his family could live with him, because he didn't want to die at home with his children, quite young children, having the memories of that happening in their home. Now, a hospital couldn't do that. You couldn't do it just by providing services at home, so hospices were creating a very special environment for him. So it's very important to have that choice. Now, in terms of funding, what it comes down to, Etley, I think is this. Time and again, the government and we believe that we ought to give people who are facing the end of life the choice, and money should follow the patient. So instead of large numbers of people dying in hospital who don't want to die there, they should be able to be looked after at home or in a hospice, and the money then should flow in that direction. And that wouldn't nationalise the hospices. They want to be charitable, they want to be running themselves, but the money should come with them if they are looking after people in circumstances that otherwise the NHS would have to.
All right, we'll leave it there. Andrew Lansley and Norman Lamb will come back to you shortly. Thank you very much indeed. So what do you think? Who should fund our hospices, the state sector or the voluntary sector? Text us and let us know.